Kirk Frost has always been at the center of Atlanta's wildest rumors, but this time, the whispers have exploded into full-blown chaos. Fans are stunned, scrolling their timelines in disbelief, because just when everyone thought the Kirk-Rasheeda saga had finally cooled down, a shocking new name has been dragged into the fire. Kendra. Yes, that Kendra, young Jock's wife. The woman who swore she would never tolerate the messy games that swirl around the love and hip-hop circle. Now, the streets of Atlanta are buzzing, the blogs are running non-stop headlines, and insiders are leaking details that paint Kirk as a man who simply cannot stay loyal. Imagine the scene. Rasheeda is holding back tears, furious that after years of humiliation, Kirk's name is being tied to yet another scandal. Jasmine, who has already carried the weight of being labeled the other woman, is suddenly back in the picture, claiming that she knows more than the public has ever heard. And Kendra. Fans say she has been spotted storming out of an Atlanta lounge, late at night, phone pressed to her ear, shouting, "I told you this would blow up." Eyewitnesses swear Kirk was there minutes before. The tension is unbearable. Social media is lit with comments, "Not Kendra too. Kirk needs to be stopped." Others defend him, saying the rumors are exaggerated, that Atlanta gossip is always 2 steps ahead of reality. But the flames are spreading faster than they can be put out. People are asking, where was Rasheeda when all this went down? Why is Jasmine suddenly talking again? And why is Kendra, of all people, caught in this web? This isn't just another messy rumor. This is betrayal, stacking on top of betrayal, with friendships, marriages, and reputations all at risk. One thing is clear. Kirk Frost has once again lit a fire that threatens to burn down everything around him, and this time, nobody knows who will walk away unscathed. The night the rumor crossed from gossip to headline felt like Atlanta in slow motion. Traffic hummed, neon lights hit wet pavement, and a late set at an uptown lounge ran long enough for everyone important to drift through. Kirk arrived with his usual cautious smile, the kind that says he is here to network and nothing more. A DJ shouted out names. Phones lifted. A bartender whispered that Rasheeda never comes to this spot, which made the evening feel safe. 2 songs later, Jock Circle came in. Kendra followed a step behind, steady and self-aware, wearing the look of a woman who promised herself she would keep things calm and clean. People noticed. People always notice when the cast is in the same room at the same hour. Rasheeda had already called it a night at home. She was working on a shipment for the store, studying fabric, and trying to ignore the familiar tug of social media. A notification slipped across her lock screen anyway. It held a single photo. Kirk stood near the back exit of the lounge, chin down, listening hard. The angle made it look secret. The caption called it sneaking. She set the phone face down and breathed. Then she picked it up again and pressed play on the attached video. At the lounge, a hush rolled over the edge of the bar when Jasmine slipped in. She had a quiet stride that made loud rooms go still. She did not walk toward Kirk. Not at first. She greeted a stylist. She hugged a manager. She laughed at something that did not sound funny. Then she turned to the back exit. Kendra saw it from the other side of the floor, and her eyes narrowed, not with jealousy but with calculation. A woman like Kendra counts exits and notes who stands near them. She started moving, not fast, not slow, just in time with the bass. A blogger with a ring light said, "This is about to be something." His friend answered, "Get it. Get all of it." Kirk caught sight of Jasmine and shifted half a step. There was no touch, no smile, only a familiar tension, the kind that holds old history in place like a knot you cannot untie. Jasmine spoke first. "Atlanta swears you never learn," she said, voice low, eyes fixed on his expression. "Tell me this is not what it looks like." Kirk glanced around. "What does it look like?" "Like you always do this. Walk yourself into a corner and pretend you are only checking the walls." He exhaled and rubbed his jaw. "We are not doing this here. You already did." She lifted her chin toward the phones. "They will fill in every blank we leave." The door to the alley swung open on a burst of humid air. The DJ shouted, "Last round," and the crowd pressed forward. In the shift, Kendra closed the gap. She did not speak to Jasmine or Kirk. She spoke to the air. To the idea that cameras are witnesses and witnesses shape stories. "Whatever y'all are about to say," Kendra said, "say it like you would want it played back to your children." Jasmine blinked. "You always come in like a judge." "No, I come in like a woman who has seen mess ruin people who were smarter than the mess." Kirk held up both hands. "I am not here for this." Kendra's focus moved to him. Then do not be here for it. Choose to walk away before someone edits this into something you cannot outrun. Someone whispered, Rasheeda is going to set the city on fire, and the room went electric. A phone flashed, and another notification hit Rasheeda's screen. She paused the video and stared at her reflection in the dark glass. Part of her wanted to call. Part of her wanted quiet. She set the phone down and said, out loud, I am not chasing a rumor at midnight. She said it again for good measure, and turned back to her fabric. Then she looked at the phone once more and opened the video anyway. Back at the lounge, Jasmine took a breath. I came to say something clear. We do not owe the world our explanations. But we owe ourselves the truth. Kirk, do you understand what people think when they see us in the same room? Do you understand what it costs me every time your name pulls me into a headline I did not ask for? He nodded once. I understand it better than you think. Kendra watched his face. Then say it on the record. Say you understand the cost. Say you understand what your wife has to carry when nights like this become clips. Kirk's voice steadied. I understand the cost. I know the weight Rasheeda carries. I know the weight you carry. That is why I am walking out this door, right now. He turned, but the layout of the room had other plans. A promoter stepped in with a handshake. A cousin appeared with a fast story. A server pushed through with a tray. In the pinch, he was stuck. Phones came closer. Jasmine folded her arms. Kendra tilted her head, reading the moment the way a litigator reads a witness. Move, she said. Not loud, not rude, just firm. The server slid through. Kirk found air. He took the chance and stepped outside into the thick night. Jasmine hesitated. Kendra shifted her stance like a guard at a gate. You do not want this to look like a pursuit, Kendra said. I want it to look like closure. Closure happens in daylight with no cameras. Jasmine's mouth tightened. Daylight never saved me from a comment section. Kendra's posture softened a degree. You deserve peace. So does she. Tonight will not give it. Jasmine considered the logic, then nodded once. A small concession that saved the room from a louder scene. She turned away and the bloggers groaned under their breath. They wanted sparks. They got cautioned outside. Kurt leaned against cool brick and stared at the sky. He dialed home and hung up before it rang. He tried again. Voicemail. He tried once more and left a message. I know what the video looks like. I left. I am coming home. At that exact minute, Rasheeda opened the front door of her house and let the night air wash the room. She did not step outside. She stood in the frame and listened to the quiet. She heard her own heartbeat. Then she went to the kitchen and poured a glass of water. The phone buzzed. The voicemail icon lit up. She did not press play. She set the phone on the counter and leaned on the cool stone until her breathing returned to normal. Morning changed the temperature of everything. A blogger posted a carousel of stills that suggested secrets even where there were none. Fans wrote that emotions ran high and lines were crossed. Others said it was deceptively edited. The family was left divided in the comments. Some defended marriage as a fortress. Others said, marriage is a story about two people who keep showing up on purpose. People tagged Jasmine and Kendra under every take. Kendra posted nothing. Jasmine posted a photo of coffee and the caption, I like my peace warm. Rasheeda uploaded a lipstick swatch video and did not mention the night at all. By noon, a clip surfaced from a different angle. It showed Kendra stepping in with purpose and keeping the temperature low when the room begged for it to rise. The blogs grudgingly admitted she had played referee. Someone added text that said, Kendra stayed classy. The replies flooded with praise and side-eye, an Atlanta mix. That evening, a producer called with a proposal. He wanted the 4 names in the same studio with a time limit, a mediator, and no alcohol. The pitch sounded like therapy painted as television. Rasheeda answered first. I do not need a round table. I need honesty. The producer said, honesty on camera. Honesty at my kitchen table, she replied. And I am not filming my kitchen table. Kirk listened from the other room and closed his eyes. He knew that tone. It was not rage, it was not confusion. It was tired certainty. He walked in and put his phone face down on the counter, a small gesture meant to prove that nothing was more important than the conversation in front of him. Say what you need to say, he told her. Rasheeda held his gaze. I need to know that you are not feeding something behind my back. Not a woman, not a rumor, not a story that makes me stand in my own home and feel like a guest. I am not, he said. Then why does it keep finding us? Because people want it to. Because we have history that sticks to us like glue. She nodded once, then removed the glue. Call who you need to call. Set the record straight where it started. I will not carry this weight for you. Not again. He swallowed and reached for his phone. I will call Jock, he said. I will call Kendra. I will call Jasmine. I will set it right. She lifted a hand. Start with you. Your boundaries. Your exits. Your rooms. He lowered the phone. You are right. Across town, Jock was in the barbershop when the call came. He put it on speaker because everyone already knew. Talk to me, Jock said. I walked out. Kirk said, your wife played defense. I owe you both respect for that. The shop hummed with quiet approval. Jock wiped a line of hair from his cape and smirked. She told me you were calm. She also told me Atlanta was not. I am correcting what I can correct, Kirk said. Tell Kendra thank you. She can hear you, Jock replied, tapping a button. Kendra's voice filled the small room. I do not need thanks, she said. I need patterns to change. They are changing, Kirk said. I am making them change. Say it to the camera if you have to, Jock added. Sometimes the city needs to hear the words. Kendra cut in. Do not play to the city. Play to your marriage. Fix it where it counts. I am, Kirk answered. I will meet with Jasmine too. Clear the air. Daylight, Kendra said. A public place. No room for creative editing. Agreed, Jock whistled low. Y'all, sound like a board meeting. Kendra chuckled. Better than a brawl. In a midtown cafe the next day, Jasmine sat at a corner table with a notebook. No glam squad. No entourage. Just a woman tired of being the headline everyone flips into a meme. When Kirk arrived, she closed the notebook and folded her hands. I do not want to be haunted by last night, she said. Neither do I, he answered. Then say it clearly. Tell me what your boundary is. Tell me where I stand in your story, or where I do not. He nodded. You do not stand in my marriage. You do not stand in the rumor that keeps trying to pull us back into chaos. We are not friends. We are not enemies. We are two people with history and responsibilities. I wish you peace. I wish my wife peace. I do not want crossed lines, blurred exits, or half sentences that turn into clips. Jasmine absorbed the words the way a runner breathes after a hill. Thank you, she said. I can live with clarity. A woman at the next table pretended to read while she recorded every second. By evening her clip was up with a caption that read, Close your lunch. The comments saw what they wanted to see, half said maturity. Half said damage control. Fans wrote that emotions ran high anyway. Because the past does not disappear just because two people speak softly. That night, the family group chats lit up. Cousins texted Rasheeda private prayers. Aunties wrote advice that felt like church and kitchen wisdom at once. Mama Shirlene called and did not waste time on pleasantries. Are you good, baby? I am steady, Rasheeda said. You sound like someone who decided not to chase a fire. I am proud of you. Do not let a clip raise your blood pressure. I will not. Good now, make sure he understands the rules of a peaceful house. Peace is a rule, not a suggestion. I hear you, you better. After the call, Rasheeda stared at her reflection in a bathroom mirror that had seen a decade of tears and 5 decades of joy. She spoke softly to the woman looking back. You deserve a simple life, she said. Choose it. The next day, a new twist landed on the blogs like a stray spark. A leaked voice memo surfaced. It sounded like nothing more than a man and a woman talking about schedules and events, but the caption framed it like a confession. Fans were shocked. Some swore the woman was Kendra, others said it was a studio assistant. The audio had static and a 3 a.m. energy that made everything feel suspect. The family was left divided again, turning into jurors whenever a clip arrived without context. Kendra rolled her eyes when someone sent it to her. She posted a short note on her story. That is not my voice. That is not my life. Stop handing me other people's chaos. The words hit like a gavel. The comments under the reposts said Kendra does not blink. They also said the city refuses to let a clean answer end a messy question. Producers circled again. They smelled ratings. They offered Kendra a solo segment to tell her point of view. She declined. They offered Jasmine a sit-down with a soft edit. She said she would consider it if the conversation focused on moving forward, not reliving the old narrative. They called Rasheeda with a glossy pitch. She did not pick up by Friday. The story had grown 3 new branches. A club flyer used all 4 names without permission. A mixtape dropped with a hook that said, "Cannot stay loyal." A streetwear brand printed the line on a hat. Comments came in from people who had never watched an episode of the show. It felt like the rumor had become a franchise of its own. That weekend, Rasheeda hosted a family dinner. No cameras. No phones on the table. Just food and chairs, and the rule that everyone would speak once and listen twice. Kirk cleared his throat when it was his turn. "I cannot control the city," he said. "I can control where I stand and who I stand with. I made mistakes for years by leaving openings. That ends now. Doors are shut that I should have shut a long time ago." Rasheeda studied him. "Show me, do not tell me." He nodded. "I will show you." A cousin to the left asked the question everyone avoided. "Do you forgive him?" Rasheeda did not answer right away. She looked at the candles in the center of the table, at the flicker that kept the room warm. "I forgive myself for staying in rooms that made me question my worth," she said. "I forgive the younger me who thought strength meant silence. I am learning what peace sounds like. Forgiveness is not a word I throw across a table and call it a night. It is a daily practice, and he will have to meet it with daily proof." Kirk's eyes watered. He did not hide it. A nephew cracked a joke to cut the tension. Laughter moved around the table and left the air softer than before. Late that night, Jock and Kendra sat on their couch with the television off. The house was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. Jock passed Kendra a bowl of strawberries. "You were a wall in that lounge," he said. "I know you do not want a medal. You got one anyway." She smiled. "I do not need a medal. I need a peaceful calendar. I am in a marriage, not a courtroom." He kissed her forehead. "What do you want next?" "I want the city to find a new hobby. And I want people to stop playing phone detective." He laughed. "Good luck with that." "I do not need luck. I just need boundaries." On Monday morning, a final ripple pushed the arc into a new phase. A reputable outlet ran a simple interview with a simple headline. It did not scream. It did not accuse. It said, "Rasheeda and Kirk choose quiet." The article quoted 2 lines from Rasheeda about protecting a marriage by protecting it from crowds. It quoted 1 line from Kirk about learning to choose rooms more carefully. It quoted Kendra about accountability. It quoted Jasmine about closure. The piece read like grown people choosing small truths instead of big performances. Some fans loved it, others called it boring. A few said boring sounded like heaven. The storyline did not end, because stories like these never end. They change shape, they simmer. They flare up when someone posts a memory. They cool down when everyone chooses not to feed them. For now, the city inhaled and exhaled together. The noise dialed down. The people who needed a show complained. The people who needed sleep slept. In that lull, quiet revelations found space. Kirk called the lounge owner and asked for the back exit to be kept closed during events. He took his name off a flyer that promised chaos. He told a promoter to stop using his marriage as a marketing plan. Each choice was small. Each choice mattered. He learned that loyalty is less a speech and more a map. You draw it with the places you refuse to go. Jasmine returned to her notebook. She wrote that healing is an ordinary road and that she is allowed to walk it. Kendra checked her calendar and cut 1 public appearance that smelled like trouble. Jock hosted his radio slot and said on air that fame is bad at offering peace, so you have to build your own fences. Rasheeda opened her store early and stacked new arrivals with her own hands. She took a photo of a mirror that had seen her through 1,000 outfits and 100 storms. The caption said, "Choose your life." Fans loved it. Fans argued with it. Fans saved it for later. Then the next rumor tried to grow. Someone claimed a late-night sighting at a totally different venue. It had the tone of a recycled plot. The city barely looked up. The 4 names did not dignify it. The plants that thrive on attention withered without water. A blogger sighed and wrote, "This one is thin, but peace does not sell like scandal." The internet tried again. A new edit restitched old clips into a conspiracy that stretched credulity past the breaking point. It trended for an hour and then fell under the weight of its own repetition. Viewers in the comments noticed that the angles were recycled. They said the timeline made no sense. They reminded each other that sometimes growth is not flashy. Sometimes it looks like nothing at all, which is exactly what makes it so hard to recognize. Kirk took the hint. He stopped checking mentions. He took a morning walk without music and listened to birds that did not care about his name. He went home and sat across from his wife and told her he booked 2 counseling sessions with no cameras and no sponsors. He did not pitch it as a media arc. He presented it as a calendar invite and asked for her yes. Yes, she said. We are late. We are not too late. He smiled in a way that reached his eyes. Thank you. She nodded. Earn it. He nodded back. I will. Across the city, the cafe where he met Jasmine went on with its business. People ordered lattes and argued about summer humidity. The corner table held a couple who talked about moving in together. They did not know anything about the previous meeting at that table. The world kept moving, which is the kindest thing the world can do when your name has been the weather for too long. At midnight that night, a fan account posted a collage that told the whole week in 9 squares. The first square showed the lounge, the second showed Kendra's calm posture, the third showed Jasmine's coffee cup, the fourth showed Rasheeda's mirror. The rest showed text about accountability, patience, exhaustion, and hope. The caption read, I am rooting for peace for all. 4. The comment section argued anyway. But under all the noise there was a quiet like a held breath finally let go. The story did not end, it shifted. Tomorrow could bring a new angle. That is how these lives work when the city watches and the cameras spin. But under that reality sits a simpler one. Choices add up. Small boundaries build big walls. Loyalty is not a speech you give when the mic is on, it is a route you take when nobody is filming. The week closed on a soft note. A sunset lit up the skyline in a way that made traffic look like poetry. Kitchens smelled like dinner. Voices in living rooms sounded less sharp. A phone buzzed with a new rumor and did not get picked up. Somewhere in that quiet, for people who had been used to living inside a headline, allowed themselves to step outside of it for a few hours and remember what their names sounded like, when only the people who loved them were listening. The following week turned the city into a rumor mill on overdrive. Barbershops argued over whether Kendra had saved the night or made it worse by stepping in. Nail salons buzzed with the theory that Rasheeda was plotting her own silent revenge, not through public fights, but by tightening her grip on her empire and freezing Kirk out emotionally. Fans were shocked to see that, despite everything, Rasheeda still posted business content without slipping in a single word about Kirk. The silence became its own weapon. Meanwhile, Jasmine's decision to post her piece, warm captions spiraled into its own mess. Bloggers cropped it against old photos of her and Kirk, twisting a simple morning coffee into what looked like a coded message. Commenters wrote, "She's hinting at something. There's no way she wrote that by accident." Emotions ran high. In the fan base, some begged Jasmine to stay quiet for her own sake. Others demanded she tell the whole truth. Producers from multiple outlets started circling like vultures. They wanted Jasmine to sit in a confessional chair, eyes red, nails tapping on glass, whispering about nights the public never knew. They offered her checks that could change her season. But Jasmine sat with her notebook again and wrote one line, "Peace costs less than chaos." She did not say yes. She did not say no. She left the world guessing. At the same time, Kirk's late-night voicemail to Rasheeda began leaking in whispers. Someone claimed a cousin had heard it. Others swore they had the recording. "I know what the video looks like. I left. I'm coming home." That was enough for fans to split in half. Some praised him for walking away before things escalated. Others dragged him for always being a step too late. The family was left divided, once again. In living rooms and group texts, the most explosive twist, though, came when Jock himself went live on Instagram. Sitting in his car with the Atlanta skyline behind him, Jock said, "Man, I don't play with my family. I don't play with my wife. Y'all can post what you want, but let me be clear, we ain't the ones entertaining your edits. My wife stood tall. She ain't fall into nobody's trap. Salute to her." The live filled with comments. Jock is defending Kendra. Kirk better not even breathe near her again. This just made things worse. Jock ended it after 5 minutes, but the clip trended all night. Behind closed doors, Rasheeda and Kirk had the longest conversation of the year. No cameras, no lights, just them. "You keep putting me in a position where I'm forced to either scream in public or swallow in private," Rasheeda told him, her voice breaking but steady. "I know," Kirk said. "You don't know. If you knew, you'd stop making me choose between my dignity and my silence." Kirk leaned forward. "I am choosing you. I just need more time too." She cut him off. "Time? Kirk, you've had years. You've had scandals. You've had second chances stacked higher than your own pride. And still we're here." That line became a headline on fan pages. Still we're here. Too many. It sounded like Rasheeda's heartbreak carved into one sentence. And so, We've reached the point where Atlanta itself feels like the fifth character in this story, watching, whispering, recording, reposting, and debating every move in the lives of Kirk Frost, Rasheeda Frost, Jasmine Washington, and Kendra Robinson. What started as one messy night in a lounge has spiraled into an entire citywide trial, with fans acting like jurors and blogs playing the role of judge and executioner. Think about it. Rasheeda has stood by Kirk through years of humiliation, endless rumors, and betrayals stacked higher than Atlanta's skyline. Yet even now, when she tries to choose peace, the world won't let her. Every video, every blurry clip, every post drags her name back into the spotlight. Fans are divided, some saying she is stronger than ever, holding her marriage together, like steel, and others begging her to finally let go and walk away. The question is, what would you do if you were Rasheeda? Stay and fight for the life you've built, or cut ties with a man who seems addicted to chaos? Then there's Jasmine. Once branded as the other woman, now trying to live a quieter life, but fate keeps pulling her back into Kirk's orbit. She's caught in a web she never asked for, and every time she takes a step toward peace, the internet twists it into another scandal. Should Jasmine finally come forward and tell everything she knows, no matter how messy, or should she shut the door for good and stop letting Kirk's shadow define her? And Kendra? Calm, sharp, unshaken Kendra. She walked into that lounge and became the referee nobody expected, holding her ground when the cameras begged for a meltdown. Some say she's the hero who prevented a disaster. Others warn that by standing too close to Kirk's mess, she risks being dragged into it herself. So what do you think? Is Kendra the strong woman Atlanta needed in that moment, or is she the next casualty in a saga that eats up anyone who gets too close? And of course, the man at the center of it all, Kirk, the husband, the father, the businessman, the reality star who just cannot seem to stay loyal. Is Kirk simply misunderstood, trapped by edits and rumors, or is he exactly who the streets say he is, a man who thrives on scandal and never learns his lesson? Now, here's where you come in. We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. If you were Rasheeda, would you finally slam the door shut on Kirk once and for all? If you were Jasmine, would you spill the full truth on camera or protect your peace? If you were Kendra, would you keep standing tall or walk away before the fire spreads? And if you were Kirk, could you look in the mirror and admit the damage you've caused? Don't just watch the drama, be part of it. Comment your theories, your predictions, and your advice for the cast. Do you think this story ends in divorce, papers, reconciliation, or an even bigger scandal waiting just around the corner? And before you go, hit that like button if this video kept you hooked. Subscribe to the channel for even more jaw-dropping tea, and turn on your notifications, because the next chapter in this saga could drop at any moment. Trust me, when it comes to Kirk, Rasheeda, Jasmine, and Kendra, the story is far from over. The emotions are high, the fans are loud, and the family is divided, and Atlanta is still watching. So stay tuned, because if this week taught us anything, it's that loyalty is fragile, betrayal is loud, and in this city, the drama never sleeps.